All right, in this video, we're going to talk about creating songs from scratch. So let's say we're learning a new song and we're going to create that from scratch. Well, because of the way we have things set up here, there's a few key things we want to make sure we do correctly so that the song displays correct on all the outputs. In the next video, we're actually going to talk about different outputs we have and the different looks that go along with all those outputs. So this is a new song we're learning right now, and I'm going to work through how to create this song. Okay, this is called Song of the Saints, and I'll walk through each step. All right, so the first one is to actually create the new presentation or new song. This will create a new file. So we'll call it Song of the Saints. Since we've already made one in here, I don't want to delete the old one. I'm just going to do a _1 and like that. All right, so now in our library, you'll see right here, there's the new song we just created, Song of the Saints. It's available. Okay. If I click on the editor, this video will help us see some of the tools in the editor features. So as long as I have a song selected, so we'll select this one and I hit edit, it'll bring me into the editor. Now this looks very familiar to, if you're familiar with PowerPoint or things like that. You basically have a text box, you can add shapes, you can add images. It's a full-fledged slide editor. You can also add stand-ins, for like live video or web pages or things like that, okay? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna just add the lyrics. So let me show you how I normally do this. So for this song, we'll just Google the song, Song of the Saints, and it's by Coffee Music or Coffee Ministries, something like that. That should pop up. There we go. And usually here it is right here. So here's that song, and then here's all the lyrics for it. And so the easiest way to do this is just to grab all of this and copy it. So Command C, come over here, and Shift Command V it didn't do it. So let me see. So if you hit paste, so to paste it, you don't want to paste it regularly, because if you do that, it'll pull over all this kind of weird formatting. So let's undo that. Instead, paste and match style. All right, so now you'll end up with, a bunch of stuff that looks like this. All right, what we're gonna do is let's keep the chorus there, and let's get rid of these headings. So there's verse 2. Let's get rid of those headings like that. And this chorus just repeats, so let's get rid of that. Get rid of that verse 3 heading. And here's the chorus again. All right. So now that I've got that, I can use what's called the reflow editor. So this is helpful if you're trying to break up a lot of text, but you can come over here and you can actually see all the lyrics of your song, and you can insert slide breaks. So we'll insert a slide break right there, because that's a lot of text for one thing. We'll insert a slide break here. And then here we will insert another slide break. Insert a slide break to start verse 2. We'll do a slide break in the middle of verse 2. And then we'll do a slide break there. And let's do one more right here, okay? And then let's add a blank slide there at the end. So let's go back to our editor, and we'll see that we've added our slides, and now they are each individual slides, okay? So what we need to do now is apply our theme, and we talked about this in the last video about checking the theme. So make sure our song is selected. That's important. If you just have a slide selected, I think, let me find out if it does this or not. Oh no, it still applies it. Okay, so as long as you're in the song, grab your theme and apply it. Now that theme has been applied across everything. Okay, so when I go into my editor, I can see here's my slides, okay? Now, another thing we're gonna have to do is arrange it, right? Because we don't sing verse 1, chorus, verse 2, verse 3. We sing verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, verse 3, chorus, okay? So let's arrange that correctly. And we do that by using what's called arrangements, but you have to group these first, okay? So let's go to our first slide here and group. And we'll say this is the verse 1. And now look, it applies that group to everything in front of it. So then you'll want to go to the next group. We'll say chorus 1. Go again here. This is where verse 2 is. Group verse 2. And group verse 3. Okay. And then I believe it's not on the website, but this song has like a tag to it. So what we'll do here in that case is go back to our editor, go to Singing Glory, Honor, Power to our King, and let's add a new slide. We'll add our font in there, and we'll just add that. So then what we can do is take that, add group, and you're going to make that chorus 2, okay? Then this one, let's go group, and you can make it a blank, okay? So now that I've done that, I can go into the arrangement editor, which is right up here, go arrangements, and I can set a new arrangement, and we'll call it ICBC, just like that. And then I can drag and drop where each of the things go, right? So if I wanted to change the arrangement, we always sing the song, we, for the most part, sing the songs the same way each time. But let's say I wanted to change it, I could go in here, new arrangement, and we'll just say arrangement 2, just to show you this. Let's say I wanted to do verse 1, chorus, verse 2, verse 3, then another chorus, then chorus 2 like that, all right, that tag, okay? So that's how I could do that, all right? Now, typically don't need to do that, right? We're gonna stick with ICBC, and actually, let me see if I can delete? Yep, there we go. So I can just delete that, the second arrangement, we don't need that. All right, so that's the song that's got all of the lyrics in place where it needs to be. There's a few other things. We typically add a title, so I'll go right here. This is Song of the Saints. So I'll add a title to that first slide, like that. And remember, we want to match our font, and then the title font size is 115, like that, okay? The other thing we're going to need to add is the publication information, okay? So show on screen. So typically when you're adding a song, you can find this right here, Words and Music by Aaron and Stephanie Coffey, arranged by Mike Haynes, and it's 2022 Coffey Ministries is the publication. So go author. I always do Words and Music by Aaron and Stephanie Coffey, and then arranged by Mike Haynes. So I include it like that. Then publisher is Coffey Ministries. Spell that correctly. Ministries, and the year 2022. Then make sure you select Show on Screen, and that, if you don't have that selected, right, I've added that, but then when I click here, notice no copyright information shows up. Let's go back to Editor, Show on Screen, back, click the slide again, and there it is. And now that's how we get that to display, okay? One other thing we need to do is make sure the looks are applied correctly, okay? So when we click through songs in a playlist, you'll notice, so like if I go to Sunday Night, you'll see these little mustache guys right here, and you'll see the mustache guy up here. This tells you what look is currently applied. So right now it's default. Well, when I click on each of these slides that have this little mustache guy, it's changing the look, okay? So let's go back to, let's search Song of the Saints. All right, there's the one we were just working on. Double click and it'll take us to it. So if we want to apply those, here's what we need to do. On the first slide, add an action, audience look, we're going to go title slide, okay? This basically is just a template that includes both that title and text. The next slide is going to be the lyric slide. So go add action, audience look, lyric, okay? Now, it doesn't seem like it's changing much here, but that's because on the live stream, it is changing the way it looks. So if I go to the live stream output, you'll see this is the, the look that's being applied, and then when I change it here, it shrinks it down to that, okay? So that's all that's happening there. And then with the final slide, the blank slide, we want to go add action, audience look, default. And that will take away that, you'll see this box here that helps the lyrics show a little bit better. That'll take that away, okay? So now this song is ready to use in any service. I could just grab over here, drag and drop it into midweek, and there it is. It's ready to go. I can use that use that song in any service, all right? In the next video, we'll talk more about looks. You just got a little bit of that, and we'll talk about outputs and how those work.